Hey guys, it's Nardi. This is a daily Espresso short shots of big ideas. We're here at Collective Espresso. One of my favorites, and you know what? It's hard to get away from the Collective group now that they've, I think, added one more to the collective, or pardon the pun, to the collection with Short Straw in Hawthorne. And Hakan, if you're watching, shout out, mate, and shout out to you. Well done, congratulations. And we're going to probably check it out next week. I think we've been to Short Straw before, but I want to see the impact that you've already put on it and the influence. Now, talking about growth and talking about acquisition, we thought we'd dedicate today's vid to that and start out with a question. So, Chris, question man, what's come through?
So we had a question from Jim, who asked, how do we go for massive growth with less headaches? Through organic or through acquisition?
Cool. Well, you can try both. I mean, we just spoke about Short Straw being acquired by the group here, and you know that's a typical acquisition strategy. You see something that's there, you see something that's running, you see something where you can do it better, and you've got that magic recipe, or you know you've got a recipe that you know that works. You've got some sort of synergy, and you use that term kind of with caution, because a lot of these big businesses throw around the word synergy but don't know what it means. So we'll start off with growing in any aspect is awesome. If you're not growing, and I think Hakan actually, you may have mentioned this in one of my previous posts, if you're not growing, you're dying, right? If you're not expanding, if you're not growing in some form each day, each month, each year, you're dying, right? So we don't want that. We want to promote growth in our economy, growth through small, medium business in Australia and around the world. So let's focus. So growth is a massive one, right? You want growth. You've signaled that you want it, and you're kind of unsure. So was it Jim? Jim, what I want you to do is write out on a list of paper, on a paper, what you're awesome at doing, and I want you to write on that same piece of paper what you absolutely don't want to be doing. And if you mentioned headaches and you're limiting your headaches. A big headache you've got sometimes out of an acquisition strategy is dealing with the legacy problems, dealing with the stuff that you're buying that you may not know. And they could be maybe a team, just adopting that, getting them involved in the change, bringing them into the mindset and the value that you believe and what your existing group is doing. And we've spoken about values before, and we've spoken about how hard sometimes you can't change someone's values, but you need to attract the people with the right values that you subscribe to as well. So there's some challenges in that. There are also some challenges in really just bedding it down and getting going through it, sorting it out, and making sure that it's doing what you thought it was doing. Because the biggest problem in when you buy something that's a going concern, it's actually operating and it's running, is sometimes you impulse buy, and hopefully that's not the case. And the other one is you really don't, through your due diligence, a lot of people, especially in the small business space, don't do enough due diligence. They don't get people on board because it might be too expensive. They just go, yep, looks good, love this, love that about it, let's buy it. So when they do get in there and it's day one, they immediately start uncovering potentially some problems that they need to fix that they didn't know about or foresee. So that can potentially be a headache, right? So, but then what's the flip side? What's the positives? Well, some great positives. One, the business is running. Two, there's probably a potential brand. Three, you might see a massive push upwards. Sorry, without breaking my glasses here. You might see a massive push of interest once you announce and market that it's been acquired or that it's joined the collective group or whomever it might be. So if you've got an existing brand that's got some great following and it's doing some awesome stuff, adopting that into the brand, all right, so a proper acquisition as opposed to it being bigger than what you've currently got, can be really good, because you're immediately going to get some people going, oh, I know what, and I'm just going to use collective here in a positive way. I know how great collective is, collective and pardon and etc. cafes. I'm going to go to Short Straw because I love that they've done everywhere else. I'm going to be excited to see what it was, even if they went there before, because it's almost like that old school thing you used to see why shops used to put under new management on the front window. You know, it incites, it entices people to come in and say, oh, let's check it out and see what's different. So there's some real positives in that as well. The other one is, you know, you've already got a team there. They already know everyone. A lot of the time, they know how everything works and operates. So you don't have to get in there too hard. And, you know, if that team's really good and works really well and it's great with the clientele and they want to stick around, well, then that's a fantastic thing. It's going to take time, and the headache you're going to have is in the integration and in creating those synergies. But it's only going to work for you really well, and you're only going to see the benefits and the potential of that growth once and only once you've got a real good synergy with what your existing business is. And if you can, when we talk about synergies, it's really about absorbing some of the cost and replacing with some of the awesome stuff you're doing, and really co-sharing. You know, existing business can provide this, new business can provide that. There's some sort of synergy there. Right? So that's something that's food for thought. Now let's switch to organic strategy, right? So organic is basically just going out and starting from scratch or building it from scratch. So you're not buying it. Now, I don't mind the organic strategy too bad. I don't mind it at all. And the reason for that is because in my experience and in my business, I've always found that building something organically, the way I want to do it, I've been able to do it quicker. Much quicker than an acquisition strategy. Now, when I say quicker, is because I know that with every new customer or client or thing that's set in place, there's no need for change management. It's do it, done it. It's done and it's built in. So that's a really important one to think. If you don't want the headache, sometimes an organic one will do. But if you're in a rush and you don't have that time, or you're planning to grow very, very quickly, and then the organic might not work, because the organic is a slower process. When we talk about costs, organic is going to need massive cost pumped into it. The same as acquisition. Acquisition, the difference with that is you typically know how much you're up for, and that's how much you're requiring, whatever the business might be. When you're up for organic, you don't know how much you're up for, so you need to plan how much you're going to spend, and then he's going to start working on returns on investment. All right, and your organic strategy is typically going to be based on marketing, infrastructure, new team, etc., to allow for the capacity to grow. So, to summarize in the cap high, each one's going to come with its headaches. Each one's going to come with pros and cons, but it's really going to come down to you as the person at the top making the decision as to what your appetite for, the level of headache is. And I hope I've made some sense there. I can't give you a black and white answer, because it really depends on you and what you prefer. There is one little thing, and I'll throw in this little bonus tip: location. So if you're working in a business where it's location based and location prominent, so like this, for example, right? You need to be in a particular location, and there's no chance of getting into a location organically, then your acquisition strategy is going to be the one you want. All right? The other one is database. If there's no chance of being able to tap into that existing database, then an acquisition strategy is going to work. And that's where you can extract some real good strategic value out of acquisitions that the person selling might not actually know what the level of strategic value in what they're selling is. All right, so they're the tips. So hopefully I've really opened your eyes as to there's two options, and more than happy to provide even more elaboration if you need it. Chris?
Well done.
Cool. The Daily Espresso, short shots of big ideas. Guys, we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers.